All right, let's get right into it. My name is Jacob Adams.
My name is Jacob Martinez.
Yeah, I totally forgot his name was Jacob till we did the video now. Okay, so today we'll be discussing some cool topics. One of the things that got us interested, we started off with talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and I thought that was people where we're from, they like talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just finish our comment over there. We were saying that the Cowboys were a big disappointment, like for the last 30 years or 25.
25, yeah.
We were talking about how they put all the money on the field to get good players, and how, in a way, like every year, it's still not a successful franchise. Do you want to add to that?
What I think is like, it sounds dumb that I'm saying this, but like they should just get rid of Jerry Jones, or like
the owner.
Yeah, get rid of the owner, because like he's making like dumb decisions on like how much money he should put on players, because essentially like Dak Prescott, like the way he's performing is not the way he should be getting played. Like there's better quarterbacks, like there's more players out there, especially in the draft too. Like there should be more people out there getting that opportunity to play, at least within the franchise at least. And like the fact that like CeeDee Lamb was like also like almost not eligible to like to play too was like a big move about the money. That's what I think personally.
Okay, so I'm not familiar with some of the recent players, but the idea of getting rid of the owner is obviously insane, because that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not.
I don't know, like so some
or smarter decisions at least.
Some of my friends are still into them, or they like will be like, oh, I see on the update on their social, like they'll update on their social like, hey, like I'm going to the bar to check out the Cowboys game, and there would have been a time where I felt like some level of like fear of missing out, like wow, they're probably going to be great, but there'd be times where like I'd get with my family or my dad when he was still with us, like I'd be like, you know what, let me go enjoy the Cowboys game, and then like we'd get together for a few Sundays, and then it'd come down to the playoff game, and then like they choke, like you know, like it happens all the time. And so after like you go in all hyped up, feeling good, you're like on the edge of your seats, and you're like, this is it, or they're not even be leading, they're almost gonna win, and then they just find a way to choke. And after enough of that, I'm like, dude, I can't. And so I've joked for the last few years, like it was a toxic relationship, and I just needed out.
That's with me right now still, like with like Dak and like CeeDee Lamb and Tolbert. Like I love them, like, no matter what. Like I'll still love the Cowboys, like win or lose, I'm still like a diehard fan.
Are you still you're gonna be diehard? That's how it was, man. Let me know if you can hang on there another 10 years with this drought. Like obviously. Well, how long have you been a fan?
Like probably for a good like 5-6 years.
That's it?
Yeah. I mean, well, probably like since a kid, but like actually no, as a kid I wasn't really into football.
No, I was since a kid and everything. So
no.
Yeah. So no, man. I stopped watching around 2020, 2019.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, by 2019,
I was watching them like more like around like 2017. Yeah. Romo was still, I think he was still in, but not in. But that's when Dak went in as rookie, and that's when Zeke came in too.
Yeah, so, yeah. Man, as far as sports go, we were talking about sports a bit. The Conor McGregor fight, the Poirier fight, that I don't know when that's coming, but I thought it was going to be this year.
Isn't it this? I don't know when. I'm not really like updated with UFC, but I know of it too.
Yeah, that's probably the hottest ticket as far as, and then obviously I hear Ryan Garcia was doing good.
Yeah,
like, he just won that fight, and that guy's like trying to sue him for kicking his ass. I don't even know what the hell's going on there.
Oh, he had like a lot of allegations too.
Yeah, like, and then he was like, so stuff like that. So I keep my ear to the ground a little, but sometimes, like for the most part, I feel like sports have become like they used to be entertaining. So that's supposed to, well, Jacob, they're entertainment, but now I feel they're entertainment. Like they're not to be taken so seriously. Like I feel at one point it was sports, and it meant something, or it had like this like
meaning to it,
this soulful like meaning. And now I feel it's more about the players and their contracts, and like.
You think it's also because like money too and gambling, like
it's become more. It lost some of that luster, like as a kid, that you see these heroes, and maybe you grow out of it. I don't know, but definitely with the social media age, and then like a 30-year drought, it's like it doesn't help. It's almost like, dude, I don't know, guys.
It is
like I'm done. I can't put this much energy into this. So I don't know. That's where I'm at with sports, and the last NBA battle that I thought was pretty cool, worth watching, was the Cavs and the Warriors. I think back before LeBron had won his championship, his first championship. That was a pretty interesting series.
It was really interesting
because that was like they were behind and then was he going to make it, and then he came back.
And they came back.
I mean, I think moments like that show a person's showing up and really pouring themselves to achieve something.
Yeah,
I think that those are the moments where I think make sports great. Like you look at a Tom Brady game coming back from behind, you kind of get to see the athlete, the athleticism. And I sometimes you look at a sport or a sporting event, and it's all just like cuts and scenes and like the beer commercials and the Verizon commercials, and the polished glamour, and then buy your beer and like it's just the potato chips and like it becomes like, you feel like this. I feel like this numbing sensation, like dude, like
the same thing all over.
And then
again.
like where's the athleticism? Fucking who cares?
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just sort of those are the killing of sports, but. Any last thoughts on the sports topic that for today?
Honestly, like I just wish like it could just be like how it was back then. You know, it was just all about the players and their athleticism. Like you said earlier, like you know, again, Zeke was a really good running back at his time, but now no more. I just wish it was at his glory days.
Zeke who?
Ezekiel Elliott from the Cowboys. I just used him as an.
Oh, you talking about the running back?
Yeah, the running back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then there was Barber, right? He was kind of like Ezekiel, right? Barber.
Tony Pollard. It was Tony Pollard, too.
Who was the guy that was real crazy? Like, black guy, just like braids, and he was like a crazy guy. What was his name? Wasn't it Barber? No, or what was it wrong?
No, I don't know.
Ezekiel Elliott. No, Ezekiel Elliott, yes.
He was good.
Ezekiel, that was a few years back, right?
Yeah, I was like, 2016, 17?
Yeah, like that was the era. That's when I checked out. Like right around 17, 18, that's when I started.
That's when it was peak, too, honestly.
The guy that would go like this. He would the running back.
He would go like this, like and then like eat him up, and then
or like he's like gonna. Who is that? Is
that Ezekiel?
Okay, yeah. That was what I'm saying. That's probably when he was like the best, and he still didn't win. They still didn't win.
Yeah, they didn't, but they still peaked at that point. Like they were like doing like
because Dak had just joined.
Yeah, he was his rookie season.
Yeah,
and Romo just got hurt. Like they were like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that was the last moment, right? Where they were like, Dak had just come on. He was supposed to be the savior of the whole situation.
The Cowboys, yeah.
And he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't.
And so I was like, what, has he got another? So his contract's so long that it's like, okay, well.
He's just there at that point.
What I'm saying, so then why am I going to watch him? Like, I don't know.
It's just entertainment at this point.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, you can't really watch him to, like, care.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you. The trap with the Cowboys is this. If you go in there believing in them,
okay,
you are still fucked.
Yeah, we are fucked.
It's like Jacob. Yeah, he's a pessimist. It's like that's okay. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Okay.
Am I a pessimist? Am I a pessimist? And I think that's where the debate.
Yeah.
Comes in. Like it's like the true diehard Cowboy fans are gonna be like,
nah.
And it's like,
so
it's a very controversial topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is
okay,
the Dallas Cowboys. It's like you got to be careful when I'm in the wrong circle, man. Because people assume like, you're just bandwagon fan. It's like, no, I hung on.
Yeah, I hung on to it for a while too. But also, fantasy football just kills me too.
I don't know how to play that.
It's fun. It's easy. You just got to just know players and but it's super random too.
The next topic we wanted to get into is, like creating haters to get clout. I guess we're not going to name names.
Yeah.
But we were discussing how there are some. Personalities online. Mm-hmm. Some might use the word influencers. I don't like that term, by the way. Like it's sort of like it's got a pretentiousness to it.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, because in other words, I'm an influencer. Right? Like, yeah. Like in other words, that moment where you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Don't tell. Oh my goodness. Like it's like, what did I didn't change shit. I just told your word.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what is that? That but you did it to create that little thing. Mm-hmm. That little thing.
Yeah.
The what thing? The pretentiousness.
Yeah. You're right.
Like so in other words, influence. People have always had influence throughout. Jesus was influential. He didn't call himself an influencer.
No, well, yeah,
but he was one.
He was, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's why did he call himself an influencer? Because he wasn't being pretentious.
Yeah, no, he had a purpose and meaning.
And it doesn't mean that if you're an influencer, you're pretentious. It's just like we were talking about people that create hate.
Mm-hmm.
to get more popular.
Yeah.
Like they start talking about, we're not gonna name names. We decide we're not gonna name names.
Yeah, we're not.
It's like people that do steroids and they get online and they're like, I do steroids and I do drugs. And,
they glorify it.
And then the way they're doing it to create people to say that's wrong. Like it's a kind of rage bait, which in a way helps them be bigger because now they're getting attention. So it creates this like meta irony where the attention isn't in fact still, it's like a tabloid.
Yeah,
it's got the tabloid effect where it's like, they shouldn't be doing that. That's wrong. Well, it is wrong.
It is wrong, but
they did it to win the attention and be an influencer.
Yeah.
And so, what's your thoughts on that?
Honestly, like if they're happy with that lifestyle, let them be. But like, of course, I wouldn't personally like do it. And I'm not easily influenced. Oh, okay, exactly. I'm a little bit easily influenced, but to a certain extent. Like I wouldn't do the anabolic steroids just to get haters and all that, because I do bodybuilding, so I wouldn't like necessarily like do it for like, oh yeah, I do steroids and I have this physique and everything. No, I would not do that. If anything, I'm just doing it for myself and for the show that I'm preparing for as well too. And I wouldn't just necessarily glorify it either as well too. I would show like the real statements and the true factors of it too, if anything. But again, I would not personally tell anyone like the steroid cycle I'm doing or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, like there are some people that. There are some people that, I don't say what, do it right. Like the people discuss their steroid cycles and they're trying to create a business directly from that and like be coaches about the steroid game or the gear. I think it's a little bit more appropriate because it does have an educational element to it. And I think that's really come prevalent. I think this year I really saw a lot of like steroid coaches.
Yes, honestly, I did see that a lot in like social media.
Yeah. You know, I would say as a professional coach in this industry, I'd say like the only problem with that is that this glorification of like using large amounts of steroids to get a certain look. I was telling you, like, I think that if you look at the long-term effects, most people that are these coaches that are talking about, like, they understand there's a long-term effect. Like there's things called blasting and cruising, where like people get on a low TRT dose when they're not blasting.
Yeah. And
it's like, you know, let's say someone lives like that for a year, 2 years, 3 years. That's a long time to blast and cruise. And there might be some side effects, like you might not be able to work, your sexual organs may not work.
Yeah.
You know,
you get the gyno, you get like start losing hair.
Yeah.
It's a lot mental, to be honest, too. Like it's really toxic to you mentally.
Yeah, but I don't know. So we were talking about some of these guys that create the rage bait. They're talking about the steroids and doing drugs. And I don't know, what's your opinion, your sincere opinion on that? Where it's like, my sincere opinion of it is, it's like I told you, the dudes, like the person we're talking, the hairstyle matched the attitude. It's kind of hard to explain it, but then like it's almost like
giving
I'm so cool that I do all these drugs, and it's like, look at me and my cool drug use.
Like it's kind of like dumb. Like to a certain extent, like you're like, you do look dumb on the internet. Like at the end of the day, like you look dumb and just like, yeah, like why would you want to like live that lifestyle? Like, you know, you're just gonna just kill yourself towards the end. And like, yeah, you might be happy, like, yo, I got all this and that, but time is like a really like valuable thing that people don't understand either too. It's like time is really like a good thing.
Yeah,
that people should carry on to.
So we'll touch on that subject at some other time about like the rage bait or rage
clickbait. Yeah, rage bait. Yeah, that's a good word.
Legacy. That's a good way to tie up our first video. Legacy. I think that ultimately, like as people mature, and let's just say like whatever the thing, whether it was Dan Bilzerian who started out being like a playboy or that was his image and he wanted that image, he eventually got over it. And I think he got over it because he felt like there was not, he's said before, there's no joy in pleasure. You can't find joy or happiness in pleasure.
Yeah.
And so I think that we were talking about the concept of the degenerate or like, it's alluring to a degree, at least at first. And then after some time, it becomes like its own energy consuming like conquest. And then it's like, well, what am I really building or what am I really doing? I think that those are the energies or the questions that somebody that, as you mature as a man, you're like, what am I really wanting to leave behind, or what is my message? And I think that that's where, even if you make, let's say, best case scenario, you create this rage bait and you become popular as an influencer and you get the girls and the money or whatever, or the drugs. What I'm saying is, those, if you look at the down Bilzerians, they've already lived that life, and there's like, there's not even, you can't even really find joy in that.
Yeah.
But I think that eventually you reach the point where you're like, what do I really want to create? What legacy do I want to leave behind? And I think that those are some of the most important questions that, you know, eventually every man has to come to the table and ask and answer. That's what I think. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, you actually just hit it on point. Like, as you said, like the damn Brazilian life, like, you know, it's fun and all at first, like, you know, like having all the girls, the money, the fame, but after a while it just gets boring. It's like, it's not pleasurable. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just get it. You know what I mean? You just hit it on point, to be honest, on that topic. But legacy, like, yeah, you do want to, like, some people do want to, like, leave a message on the earth. Like, I guess, like, the degenerate lifestyle, like, oh yeah, I mean, I did it for a little bit. I tried being a degenerate. It's not fun.
Did you really?
Yeah, a little bit. Like,
you'll tell me in private, unless you wanted to say it.
I don't mind, but
okay, like, what would, without giving too much into it,
like, I would just, like, not care about, like, people's feelings. I would just be like, you know, I didn't care. You know, just having that I don't care mentality and just doing it for myself. It didn't feel good as a man myself. Like, that's not cool. Like, you know, I should have been, like, I'm learning, of course, still myself to this day. You got to just be more positive and just be mindful and, you know, be positive towards people, you know, set a good message and goal for people. You know what I mean?
Anabolics. We talk about the influencer, the legacy. We could go into cardio and other stuff later, but this is a good first one. We're maybe talk about cardio. We can save that for next time. Before we close up this video, is there any kind of thought, like last minute thought in your head?
No, not at the moment, but like, yeah, but honestly, that was a good topic. All the topics we talked about, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Yeah. We'll get into the next ones. As we close up, I guess in closing, there's so much good. I never really liked the word content, but it's a word that everyone understands.
Yeah.
There's so much good content on the internet. Like today, Joe Rogan is going to be interviewing Donald Trump. That's pretty good content. And then there's content that's just sort of made to get attention or get clicks. Rage bait or just attention. Whether it could be nudity or something gross or something, and it's just for attention. You know, it's a little sad to a degree.
It is,
if we have, as in a large societal movement, created a culture where people feel that they need to create content only for the sake of attention, purely, regardless of what that attention is. Almost like, is the attention even good attention? Like, so there's almost this balance where we have to ask ourselves, like, yes, attention is good, but at what cost?
At what cost? Yeah.
Like, you could, like, and I'm saying, I think that there's people out there that go do hurt other people just for clicks. They'll record it, upload it just for clicks, because attention. So I think on some level, that's where it's a weird time that we still haven't been with the internet long enough and social media enough to where we've created this sort of like filter to be like, come on, that's just stupid attention. And we sort of need to get to that point to kind of clear up some of the dumb stuff
out there. Yeah,
whatever that, there's enough dumb stuff out there that
there's a lot
that we can say, okay, that was dumb.
Yeah, no, it's right to that point.
I'll close it with one thing. Like the other day, I'm going through X, and like there's a guy eating Nutella, and he's all robbed. Nutella everywhere, God. And he's like, Nutella, and he's got Nutella everywhere, right? And this is a good meta example of like, here I am saying attention, but he came to mind. See, so I'm giving him attention, but it was just so random that it's it's so like, what?
Yeah, like,
but he created it for you to go what, and in a way for people to discuss it, like what. So it's a weird time.
It is, yeah.
Whereas, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah,
like, it's like
I've seen. I think I know what you're talking about because I think I've seen, like popped on my For You page. I'm like, what did I just watch? I'm sorry for my language, but
yeah,
like, I was like, what did I watch?
It's just that, like, but you were gonna watch it because you're like, what?
You're like,
where did you get? Why'd you spend so much on Nutella? And like, do you like it that much? Are you okay? Like
what's going on? I always wondered like what goes on like on there in their head when they make that video. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think goes on in their head? Like to close. I don't know if you want to close it out. I think
they just want to be like get the clicks.
They get the clicks for the money,
just to get the clicks and to build some sort of traction, some kind of follower, some kind of like the concept of creating content, becoming this influencer. Yeah. There's like the valid influence, right? Like the people that add value and they're influencing. And then there's people that get meta with it. They're like, the fact that I create content isn't itself influential, isn't itself attention, and isn't itself its own thing, and therefore it's worth something. Yeah. Regardless of how good it is. It's like you still looked at it. It wasn't. They kind of argue, well, you wouldn't have looked at it if it wasn't good. It's like, I mean, so you kind of find yourself in a situation like, it's like, bro, I don't think you, all right, bro. And so it's almost like the best exit is just to be like, I'm gonna shut up. Do you get it? Because there's no other way.
There's no.
All right, it's almost like a spider web. Like the more you get it, like it's like sticks on you.
And you're like, oh, and it just gets all over you. And like, oh, damn.
I'm Jacob Adams.
I'm Jacob Martinez.
Peace out, y'all.